The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just launched their new ladders game where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Plus, when you use promo code NBA SGPN, you can get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 matching deposit bonus. Sir.
Bing bang, 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 bing bang.
I didn't even. Right here. Right here. That's right here. Yeah, I feel it right here. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm not even prepared for this. I'm really not even prepared for this. I thought that I would have a night over to sit and think about what I have to say, and I still don't know what to say. I mean, oh man. 220 point. Oh man. Oh man. Wait. So let me get this straight. So the Boston Celtics, reigning defending champions, not the number one team all season, but who everybody has pegged to win the championship all season, going up against the New York Knicks, who were 0-10, 0-11 against the top teams in the league, including not beating Boston. And there was no shot the Knicks could win game one. In fact, when they went down 20 points, the game was over. And then they won. And then it was game two. And there was no shot the Knicks were going to win in game two. In fact, some people said that they would walk 15 miles to work barefoot in a robe if the Knicks won, because there was no shot. They said that you had a better chance of going outside and seeing a dinosaur, seeing T-Rex, seeing Raptor outside than the Knicks getting a win. So, I mean, what is it this time? What's it going to be for game three? Pigs flying? Hell frozen over? What is it? Because these upstart kids from New York are up 2-0 against the reigning defending champions, and you can never take that away. Regardless of what happens, you can never take that away. Dude. Tatum? Fourth quarter, why the fuck is Tatum in? Why? You got Tatum in there in the fourth quarter? And they said them 5 picks. Why we trade them 5 picks? Yeah, all right. Oh, man. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Thank you. Thank you, Boston, for giving me this moment. Who knows if I have another moment like this, but I'm going to enjoy this moment right here because you can never take this away from me. Knicks in 4. Scott Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, it was kind of like watching the same exact movie again. And you kind of were just, you knew where the plot was going, but at the same point, you couldn't believe it was going to be like the exact way that it unfolded again. And the fact that the Celtics became the first team in NBA history to blow a 20-point lead in back-to-back playoff games
At home?
At home's a bonus. I just mean in general.
No, in general, but I'm saying at home.
At home too, which is just crazy to me. But I mean, you kind of put the game on, and you're like, all right, Boston first half, Boston first quarter, standard stuff. Like, Boston's going to jump them early, and we'll go from there. Then the Knicks are down 20 at the end of the third quarter. And you're like, all right, that's exactly where the Knicks want to be. But, like, you're half joking because, like, you're just trying to make a joke about Boston choking again because you don't think it's going to happen again. And then you slowly check back, and the lead just keeps dwindling. You go from 20 to 15 to 10 to like 5. Next thing you know, it's a 1-point game. And the Knicks are in the middle of a 21-2 run in the last like 8 minutes of the game. And then Tatum gets, I can't even say blocked, just stripped, I guess, by Bridges to end the game because he was trying to pass out of that at the last second. But damn, Boston is so bad at closing games. It's crazy to think about in hindsight and the way we're going to remember this core unless they turn it around. This core somehow won a championship, and they're one of the least clutch groups I've ever seen. And when you think about it with the Knicks, props to them for never giving up in any of these games. Props to Mitchell Robinson, who, despite the free throw shooting, has given the Celtics problems all series defensively. He's been great, even though the free throw shooting can be problematic. Brunson was not great for 3 quarters, came on late, and Drew Holiday, who's viewed as being an elite defensive player, fouled him on the most important defensive possession of the entire game. Brunson made both free throws, and then Tatum had the turnover at the end. But Bridges was really bad for 3 quarters, scoring-wise. I believe he had 0 points. Then he took over the fourth quarter, partially. Cat was good on the boards. Knicks had a lot of guys step up. And Boston keeps living and dying by the 3. I mentioned it on the show yesterday. Word for word, bar for bar. Do I trust the Celtics when they have a 20-point lead? No. And that's why I'm not taking the Knicks. And that's why I'm not taking the Celtics. So I said specifically on the show that I was not going to back the Celtics because if they went up 20, I wouldn't trust them to hold on to the lead. And they blew exactly a 20-point lead in the second half, and the Knicks came back and they won the game. So either way, I just feel like the Celtics watched game 1 and said, what if we just did that again? Like, we're just not going to miss that many 3-pointers. Are you not going to miss that many 3-pointers? Or were you 1 for 16 to end the fourth quarter? I think you had a 1 for 16 stretch. That was just embarrassing at all levels for Boston. And I can't even say that we're that shocked, us two, because we've roasted this team for basically being choke artists in the fourth quarter for years. And they won a title in the process. But Mazzulla, Tatum, Brown was actually okay for the most part, but in the fourth quarter he was not. Boston just unraveled again, and the Knicks stole game 1 and game 2. And now you got yourself a pretty fun series. So it's fun to witness not being involved. I know you're having more fun because your favorite team came back twice. But even just from an outsider perspective, it is pretty insane watching a team like this who won a title just completely unravel at home in back-to-back fourth quarters.
That's what happens when you play a team that's healthy, man.
Yeah, just saying in general, though, it is pretty crazy to think about.
I mean, I would say it's crazy, but Scott.
Well, it is crazy. Let's be real here.
I would say it's crazy, but I will say, I've told you for years, whenever there was a game that you told me that there's no shot Boston can lose, no shot, they lose it. And that's what they did the first 2 games of the season. Yeah. I mean, other series. They told me it was no shot. And this is why I don't bet Boston. This is exactly why I don't bet Boston. This moment. This is why I don't bet Boston.
Brother, I want to ask you. I see Ryan mentioning my audio is a bit low.
It is. Well, it's not low, but it's like it's weird. It's not how it normally sounds. Like it's weird.
Okay, a second.
Like an echo or something. I don't know.
I'll back out and I'll try to fix it. Give me a second.
All right, and while Scott's doing that, I just once again for the people.
Bing bang. Bing
What
bang.
beautiful.
Bing
Play it
bang.
again. Play it again.
Bing bang.
Oh my gosh. All right, man. I guess there was another game that happened yesterday. I don't really know. I mean, we could say there was another game, but I guess there was another game. The Oklahoma City Thunder just completely destroyed the Denver Nuggets. There's really nothing to talk about in that one. I mean, it's 1-1 going back to Denver. OKC did what they were supposed to do. They won by, 43 points? think they might have been up 50 at some point. Like, really, really nothing to talk about there. And we'll see what happens in Game 3. It's a brand new series now, and we'll see if Denver is able to get that home court.
Are we good now? Audio's better?
Yeah, that sounds better. I think
Okay.
that sounds better.
I was going to say, you kind of buried the lead, though, on that Nuggets game when I popped back in.
What?
We had the return. You can't just
Oh,
skip
yeah.
over the return.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't talk
Come on,
about it.
Joker fouls out in 3/4, and you skip over the
Yep.
return to Scott Foster? Come on, man.
Yep, because they were on Joker's ass that whole game, too.
They were. They really were.
They was on his ass the whole
Scott
game.
Foster came back, and Joker fouls out in 3/4.
Yeah,
That's funny.
he couldn't.
But
It's actually crazy because, like, he couldn't catch a break on anything. Like, and I mean, they were fouls, but, like, come on, bro. Like, he couldn't catch a break. It was hilarious.
So I saw some videos going around of Paul Pierce actually walking to work today.
Man, he walked like
probably 5 steps. Yeah,
a block, maybe a block, and then they picked him up and drove him to work.
All it takes is a couple of clips. And
now, if it was me and I worked at Fox, I'd make him walk until he dropped. I wouldn't make him go the whole way to the studio because that's like 8 hours and we ain't got time for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna make him walk till he dropped.
I would compromise though. I'd let him wear sneakers. I'm not gonna make him walk barefoot.
Yeah. No. You can wear your shoes.
Yeah.
You can wear your shoes, but you go look like an idiot with your bathrobe on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna walk for a minute, and I'm gonna be following you in the truck. And when you finally drop, then we'll go ahead and we'll go on to the studio. But I'm gonna get my money's worth. What?
And for the record, nobody forced Paul Pierce to do it. He just volunteered. He just volunteered to do it.
There was no other end of the bet. There was nothing. If the Celtics win, then I get this. He just said that because he wanted to.
Yeah, he's wanted to. It's like, all right, sure. If you want to make your own bet with nobody, then sure, everyone's gonna.
And you saw Key tried to save him. Hey, no, don't do this. Say for the series. Don't say for this game.
Yeah.
Say it for the series. Don't say it for this game. No, they gonna win the game. They gonna win the game. That's what happened, man. That's what happened. You can't bet on your team, man.
Shout out to SGA, by the way. It was a plus 51 in 3/4. Shout out to SGA. 149 points is wild.
And shout out to J-Dub for being like, were we even up 50 at any point in the game?
Yeah.
Talking about, I don't get plus minus. Were we even up 50 at any point in the game? Like, how is he?
Plus minus is just, in theory, makes sense because if they pulled SGA while they were up like 45, and they get outscored by 6 when he's off the floor,
and then he comes back,
in and they score by 5.
Yeah.
Technically, you're never up 50, but like
it makes sense. But I thought it was just funny when J-Dub was like, were we even up 50?
I imagine they had to. Actually, I don't know if they were, but it was over very quickly. They scored 45 points in the first quarter.
Yeah,
87 points at the half, which is crazy to think about. But Denver doesn't care. They stole a game in OKC.
All right, Scott. Before we get into the one game we have tonight, is there any in these two series? Is there any updated series future that you would like to place? Are you of the people that think the Celtics are going to come back and win this series, or are you giving up on them and you're saying, yeah, it's just a matter of when the Celtics make the most? Probably no. I think this is actually the craziest collapse, like one of the craziest collapses ever, because nobody gave this Knicks team a chance for shit.
So I'm gonna have to ask you, because we're talking about the Celtics here. Is this crazier than going down 3-0 to that Miami play-in team?
Yeah.
The point is, we can have a discussion because nobody gave that Miami team a shot either.
Yeah, in Game 3, Boston was favored. Like everybody told me that Miami was not winning Game 3.
Yeah,
and then they did, and then that's all you need. Once you win Game 3, you have 4 games to figure this out.
And the series did get wild because Boston did force Game 7 there, but still, the point is, we've seen this Boston core blow series that they probably should win easily.
Yep.
But we've seen them blow it. Now, you can argue the Celtics have been the better team for most. It's not even an argument. You're right. They were up 20 in both games.
So, actually, I'll tell you that 81 minutes. The Celtics were the better team for 81 minutes in this series.
It's like 81-12 with like time with the lead, I think.
Yes.
Something like that. But
yes.
The point is that do I think Boston is dead in the series? No, of course not, because Boston's been the better team for most of these games. Do I think Tatum's going to be this bad for the entire series? No, but it'd be pretty funny. But I think for the sake of the actual series itself, the Knicks have really not been that great at home. I do wonder if they're going to be able to actually close the door on this team. I don't see them sweeping. I do think Boston's going to win one of these next 2 games. I'm not going to say Boston's dead, but I think the Knicks should be favored in the series. I'll put it that way. I thought that the odds opening Celtics minus 120 was pretty ridiculous. Now it flipped to like the Knicks minus 120, which I think is more accurate if I had to price it myself. Porzingis had some quotes saying that, maybe it's good for us because now we're not the favorites and now we're the underdog. No, you can't
Oh
swing. You can't swing the
God,
logic here.
you can't swing it like that. You were like minus a million.
You're like
to
minus
start the
1,000.
series.
Like, I get what Porzingis is trying to do here, but that doesn't work when you are the defending champions. You can't be dogs to a Knicks team that you owned in the regular
We're
season.
the underdogs here. Nobody believes in us. Well, you just blew 2 20-point leads at home. Why should we believe in you?
And it's also twofold because, one, it was the fact that you have choked away 2 massive leads, so you can't play the underdog card. 2, when he dropped the quotes, you were literally still favored to win the series. And then the odds flipped after that. But still, it's a weird situation with Porzingis, who came off the bench, who's battling an illness. That's kind of weird in itself. Tatum's no-show 2 straight second halves, basically. Brown was solid for most of the game, then was bad in the fourth quarter. They just have no clue to run clutch offense, and it's a serious problem. So the counterpoint is, well, they're not going to be this bad from 3 games in a row. My argument would be, why not?
Because they haven't.
This team freezes in every big spot. Why would I assume you're going to suddenly snap out of it? Do I think Boston, we'll talk about game 3 in a day or so. I think Boston might win game 3, but the logic of, well, they can't be this bad. The key word's can't. Why can't they? They blew 2 separate 20-point leads at home. That seemed impossible. And yet here we are. And the series they lost to Miami got insanely hot from 3. And that's why they pulled it off. Why can't one other team get insanely cold from 3? I think it's possible. The Knicks have played good defense.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
They better come to the court and ready to play. Let me just say that. Because.
And the Knicks better come ready to play too.
Oh, yeah. It's a must-win game on both sides, in my opinion. I think whoever wins game 3 probably ends up winning the series, to be honest.
I agree. I'm not going to assume that one team, no matter how much better you are than the opponent, can come back from 3-0 in the NBA. But do I think Boston's definitely live to win the series if they win game 3? Of course.
Yeah.
Because I think we'd agree, even though the Knicks are up 2-0, the Celtics have been the better team all season and for most of the series. But that doesn't matter because this team has choke artists.
Yep.
So there you go.
And you just put yourself down 2 games for no reason. Like,
correct. 100%.
Hard thing to overcome. All right. Can't wait to hear all the Boston people tell me how Boston is still going to win the series.
And as for Denver, by the way, that was a house money game. I'm not going to read too much into it.
There was one Boston Twitter account that I seen that they were like, how do you feel about the Knicks being up 2 games against Boston? And they were like in their Boston gear, in the bed, sleep, relaxing, not worried. All right. Okay.
You've been here before with Miami, and that got very weird very quickly. And you did
Very
not win that series.
Very quickly, and you did not win. Circa Resort and Casino Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. So, if you win, this is what you're going to receive. A 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino for your entire 12-team league in 6 double king rooms. Do you realize how big the room has to be a double king? You'll also hold your draft at a cabana in Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit. You'll get limo transportation to and from the airport, a welcome party at Legacy Club for your entire league, and a reservation at the world's largest sports book with a $500 beverage credit for the league, and a 2-hour open bar package for the league at Overhang Bar. I mean, that's a lot of drinks. That's a lot of food. That's a lot of good time. All on the dime of Circa Sports. And all you have to do is enter the contest, which is going on now until June 30th. How to enter, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are improved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today over there at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog just launched. Wow. I can't say launched, Scott. Underdog just launched their new ladders game where you can go and you can watch your favorite players climb the ladder on their fantasy stat. And so, $500, 500x. That you put $1 in, you get 500. Easy as that. That's how it can happen for you over there, Underdog Fantasy. And you could build a regular Underdog Fantasy pick'em entry like we do, where you pick higher or lower your favorite players' fantasy stats, and that works out. Like, yeah, we can do that as well. You can do all of that over there, Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you go over there, NBA SGPN, claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN. All right, Scott, let's get to it. We've got one game on the docket in the playoffs here. And
What a weird schedule, by the way.
yeah, I didn't understand how they make the schedule. I also didn't understand because what game was supposed to be here? Like, there was supposed to be another game here, but I don't really know which game that was. Either way, here we are. We've got the Golden State Warriors going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Golden State is up 1-0 in the series. Timberwolves are laying 10.5 at home. The books are really doubling down on making Minnesota 7-point favorites with Steph Curry in the lineup, because now they're 10.5-point favorites. 201.5 is the total. Injury report: Steph Curry is out for the next week with that hamstring injury. He's missing games 2, games 3, games 4. He'll be reevaluated for a potential to make game 5.
I'll personally put a question mark around game 4, because if they lose the next 2 games, maybe they're desperate. But yeah, he probably should be missing game 4 as well.
Rob Dillingham also out. So, Scott, I understand. And I was on the show. I was talking to Dave Sherpan. You remember Dave?
Yeah.
So I was talking to Dave, and Dave was explaining to me the book's mindset on why, when the Timberwolves lost, but Steph went out, why they made the Timberwolves a bigger favorite in the market for the series. And it was because they were doubling down on, well, we already had them at this level with Steph Curry. We thought that they were this big of a favorite. And now, even though they're down a game, they no longer have Steph Curry. And
they're
so
just a much better team.
And so it's like you have to respect that and continue to – you can't flip the market now. Like, this isn't the chance to flip the market. And so they had to double down. And that's how we have a 10.5-point spread here, which even without Steph, Scott, I'm not going to lie, I think this is way too many points.
The thing about Golden State is we saw 2 different situations play out, which were kind of the same argument, which was teams down 1-0. How are they going to respond? And we saw both outcomes. One team choked, and the other team won by about 90 points. So the question is, which are we going to get in this one? Of course, based on the total, you're assuming it'll be more like that Knicks game, because it'll be more low scoring, more physical. We saw the Warriors survive without Curry anyway. Not even survive. They kind of just dominated.
Yeah, they dominated.
That was the argument, is that without Curry, is this team going to fall apart? And the answer was no. Now, the Timberwolves in the last 2 games are 12 of 76 from 3, which is the worst percentage in NBA history, I believe, in a 2-game stretch. With a certain amount of volume, I'm sure, but still. So the argument is Minnesota going to bounce back, either offensively or even just with their ability to actually stop this Golden State offense, which scored less than 100. But the point is, without Curry, you figured, how are they even going to score like 85? And Hield went crazy. Butler had a fringe triple-double, and they ended up getting the job done easily in that game. Minnesota really should dominate this game, just based on all of the, I'd say, things you look for when it comes to injuries, when it comes to motivation, etc. And I hope Minnesota does show up in this game. 10.5 is a lot. I think I'd rather take the under in this game, because I don't see Golden State scoring much, but do I trust Minnesota's offense to light it up? Not necessarily. I think Golden State defensively can make this difficult. I think Minnesota can find some, I'd say, ugly possessions over the course of this game. And if the 3-point shooting doesn't improve, this game might be a rock fight again. So I'll go with the under instead. I think 201.5 makes sense. If Minnesota wins this game in blowout fashion, and they win this game, let's say 100-85. That's realistic.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. That's fine. That goes well under the total as well. Minnesota can score 110 if they want to, and Golden State can score less than 90. That's a possibility too, and you still go under.
Mhm.
So I'd rather take the under. Because if Golden State's going to win this game or keep this game close, Minnesota basically cannot reach 105 because they're not going to be able to score enough points.
Yeah.
Even in the win, they scored 99, and Curry actually had a very good first quarter or so, and then he got injured. So give me the under in this game because there's a couple of scripts to get there, but I still think it involves Golden State's offense not scoring enough to help the over. I don't see them reaching 100. I don't see them reaching 95.
Because, like, Scott, who's scoring for Golden State outside of Jimmy, like, consistently?
You need Butler to have a monster game. You need Butler and you need Hield, basically.
But we know. Okay, so let's just go ahead and scratch Buddy off the list. We know Buddy Hield is inconsistent, and that's why Buddy Hield is Buddy Hield and not somebody better than Buddy Hield.
Pajemski, question mark. You don't have many guys.
So it's like it could be Pajemski. Like, first of all, let's just label out the options, and I think that's the issue, and that's why I'm on the under. Because I'm just looking at the scoring options in the game and how I think they're going to do. Because I don't think Draymond is going to have a big game again. In fact, Draymond is actually 9 of his last 12 games. He's gone under his points, rebounds, and assist prop without Steph Curry in the lineup. So I don't think Draymond is going to have a good game. I don't trust Gary Payton to score. Buddy Hield's had, 2 great games in a row, maybe 3. He's due for a bad game. So I'm like, where's the offense coming from? Like, where are they going to find the offense? Steve Kerr broke Jonathan Kuminga. This would be a spot where I would love a Jonathan Kuminga 15, 20-point game, but Steve Kerr broke him. He has no, and then we got a Moses Moody. Like, when's the last time we've seen Moses Moody play consistent minutes, actually?
I imagine tonight is going to be a decent amount of minutes for Moody. I see Hunter mentioning he likes Moody points for 8, 10, and 12. I know he also called out yesterday Wiggins, and Wiggins had a solid game. So shout out to Hunter there. But I do think Moody could have a solid game, but that's kind of the point we're talking about. We're mentioning role players stepping up. And yes, Hield's been great for 2 games in a row. We also know Hield has the reputation, as you said before, being very streaky. And he's kind of I'm trying to think of the right comparison. Because he's only good when you don't really expect it. And when you expect him to be good, he does nothing. Like the Boston Celtics, question mark? You know what I'm trying to say with Hield? Like, as soon as people put too much stock into him.
Yeah, so he's the perfect, like, reflection of the market. If you start betting on Buddy Hield and you think, oh, he's this great dude, you start taking his...
He's scoring 5.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
But then as soon as you stop caring, he'll drop 20.
As soon as you give up, as soon as you give up. Like, it's like Rudy in a sense. It's very, very close to Bam. I think Bam, because Rudy will just always miss, but Bam will play with you. And whenever you take the lower or the under on Bam, that's when he has the big. I think it's more of a he's more comparable to Bam, honestly. I think that's the player.
I think it's a very good sell high spot on Buddy Hield. That's kind of the point we're making here. So when you're looking at Hield, who should be a focal point now for Minnesota's defense to kind of like stop, you have Butler, who should be solid anyway. You could also argue Golden State, if they fall behind early, will they just roll over? Yeah. Probably not, but there's a chance they do. We saw Denver roll over in game 2. They would have lost anyway, but Denver wanted nothing to do with the game after the first quarter, basically. But still, I think you're looking at a game where Minnesota probably should cover. But the question is, do you think Golden State's defense can be good enough to shut down this offense again? I think they can be. So I'll just go with the under instead and dare Golden State to basically reach 95. And I just don't see that happening in this game.
So here are my thoughts about Moses Moody, Hunter. If you look at Moses Moody in the last series, the games where he did get over the prop that you're talking, those are the games where the Warriors just didn't care anymore, and they lost. Literally, all 3 of the losses are the 3 of Moses Moody's best games when he got those minutes.
He had a monster 28-point game or something in garbage time.
Yeah, so you've got 24 points in game 2 where they lost 109-94. He had, 24 minutes. He had 12 points there. He had 25 points in the game, game 5 loss, where he was 9 of 18, and they got blew out there in garbage time. The game after that they also lost in game 6, he was 5 for 13. He had 13 points. So if you think that they lose, maybe it is a good idea to go ahead and get behind some Moses Moody here, because clearly he's the guy that's going off in the garbage time and in the losing situations for this team. So
is he starting tonight? You got to figure out who's going to replace Curry. Is he going to
It's
start?
no Gary Payton got the start in the second
Okay.
half last game, so I can assume. But Kurt
Yeah.
changes the lineup all the time. But Gary Payton did get the start in the second half when Steph went down. All right. With that, what other player props do you like?
Well, I actually want to point out there was some big news for me in Game 1. I actually did win a Rudy Gobert over prop.
Congrats.
Thank you.
It didn't look good. You didn't feel good about it.
It did in the first quarter, and then he had 0 points and 1 rebound in the second quarter, and I'm like, all right, well, this is just dead.
Yeah.
But he ended up with 11 rebounds. I had 10.5. So.
I remember looking at him when he had 6, and I said, I think it was in the third quarter when he had 6. And I'm like, see, that's it right there. But then I saw him get to 11 at the end. I said, all right, good job. But
I see Meech asking if Kuminga's going to get some run. If they switch coaches, maybe. I don't see Kuminga getting much run. Maybe a little bit in this game, because if they get blown out, he might play a bit, but Curry keeps playing.
I think it depends on what Kuminga decides to do when he gets in the game. I think he's going to get 5 minutes where Steve Kerr is going to figure out which Jonathan Kuminga do we have today. Do we have the Jonathan Kuminga that when Steph went down, when Clay went down the other season, he was averaging 25 points for like the better part of 2 weeks? Or are we getting Jonathan Kuminga from what was it? Was it game 1 of this series, or was it game 7 of the last series where he came in the game, missed 2 bunnies at the rim, and then Kerr immediately took him out? So I think that we'll get Jonathan Kuminga, and then we'll see, what Jonathan Kuminga is going to be playing in this game, because if he doesn't look good off the rip, Kerr's going to put him back on the bench, and he's not going to him. But if Jonathan Kuminga goes out there and he starts the games hot, like some 2 for 2, 3 for 3 type thing, I think Kerr's going to stick with the hot hand and let him run. So,
yeah, I agree. I think if you wanted to make an argument for props, it's going to be tricky because you might think Minnesota might blow this team out, which is a possibility. I have to imagine Ant bounces back after whatever that was in game 1.
I don't know, man.
Ant did 1 jump shot the entire game.
Yeah.
1. So I don't maybe mind Ant first quarter. It wouldn't shock me if Ant tried to force.
You think he's just going to chuck up a bunch of threes? I mean, he did take.
I think early on, yes. I think Ant might try to go like, all right, look, coach called me out. Basically said you got to be a better leader. And I think Finch was right. I think that Ant came out.
Did. Hey, I was listening. I was like, wow, he's really on Ant right now.
I respected it, to be honest, because you shouldn't drop that game by that margin when they missed their best player for about 3 quarters. That shouldn't happen. So I think Ant responds. I think he'll play well. I think Ant did a good job on the boards, though, if you want to make an argument for rebounds, maybe. Ant rebounds could be a sneaky play here. Draymond unders will be a common play.
I already gave it out.
I tried it in game 1, and he turned into Steph Curry, so I gave it a shot.
This is the one. This is the one.
It should be. Gobert, I don't mind his under points. He just was not looking to dominate against Butler or Draymond. So game 5 against the Lakers was a fluke. He reverted back to being passive, and I could see that happening again. But I'll ask you, because I think Randall's an interesting option. I don't mind the Moody play that was recommended, because I do think that he might get some run, because Kerr doesn't have many guys he trusts, and Moody would still probably play 27 minutes off the bench.
Yep.
And once Moody comes in, he tends to get more of a green light than people realize. So I don't mind Moody potentially going for points as well. I'll take the unders on DiVincenzo, who I don't think should play in most of these games. He's been horrible. And he's on the court a lot. And he looks absolutely lost in every game he plays. First, I was roasting him on Twitter, and the first shot he took in the fourth quarter was a fadeaway 3 from the corner that airballed by about 3 feet to the left. And I'm like, all right, I think you get my point here. And he was like I forgot what he was, like 1 of 7. He's been terrible the entire postseason. I think he should play less. I'd rather see NAW play. I'd rather see some other options. But DiVincenzo right now, and you've noticed it too, I'm sure, he's just running around out there, just getting the cardio workout in. It's been really ugly for DiVincenzo over the last couple of games here. So I don't mind an under on DiVincenzo.
Scott said, I'd rather see Nah play.
I mean, am I wrong?
No. I mean,
Nah can at least give them some good minutes. DiVincenzo, I don't know what he's doing. He's just running around, just chucking up bricks the entire game. And he's also forcing up breaks. It's not like it's in the flow of the offense. He's trying out some 33-footers, and he's like 0 for 5 already. It's like maybe you should try to move in a little bit before you start moving out for a 33-footer. But DiVincenzo, I just think, has been a lost cause. So,
Wow, I didn't realize how bad he's actually
oh
been.
no, he's been atrocious.
He's shooting 29.5% in the playoffs this season.
He had one big play, which was the and one. I think it was on LeBron. in
Holy
that Lakers
shit.
series.
He's 7 for 38 from 3.
He has been absolutely horrific.
That's 18%.
He's shooting 18% from 3. Like, Finch has to pull the plug at some point if it doesn't get any better.
Wow, 1 for 5, 0 for 2, 2 for 8, 1 for. These are games they're winning, by the way.
There's a reason why I'm calling out DiVincenzo. I don't mind DiVincenzo as a player, but he's been absolutely horrific. You can't keep him on the floor at this point.
1 for 4, 2 for 12, 1 for 7 from 3. Wow.
With Minnesota being like 12 of 76 from 3 in the last 2 games, DiVincenzo's done his part, I'll tell you that much. He's been a mess.
I did not realize that he was shooting the ball that bad.
Yeah, like and if he's not going to hit his threes, what's the point? So I would consider pulling the plug on DiVincenzo until he actually figures it out.
Oh, plus 225 for 10 plus points from Moody. Okay. All right, that's interesting at plus 255. Wow.
So wanted to mention DiVincenzo too, because maybe I'll jinx him into playing well, but it has been a very ugly watch for the last couple weeks with DiVincenzo.
All right, so because Rudy Gobert was so, what's the word I'm looking for, Scott? I'm just going to say uninteresting in game 1.
Boring?
Yeah, pretty much. That we need Mike Conley to invigorate that. And that's what they typically do. The pick and roll with Mike Conley, get Gobert a couple of easy looks. Mike Conley already runs the offense.
Couple corner threes too thrown in there.
I like Mike Conley's assist here. I think that he's going to have a good assist day. He got 5 last game. They're sitting at 3.5, I think. So I like Mike Conley to get over his assists. Jimmy Butler, I just think an all-encompassing game of points, rebounds, and assists is probably a good look here. Probably another near triple-double, maybe.
I like the rebounds. Butler rebounds has been an absolute cash cow. The assist could be problematic if you look around the court trying to wonder who's going to actually make shots. Butler might force the issue, try to drop 25 or 30. So I might skip the A, actually. But I maybe would not mind the PR, but the rebounds have been solid.
Podziemski rebounds feel pretty good. I wish I would see a little bit more minutes with Loon, but Loon's offensive rebounding is so good that it makes me completely interested in his rebounding as well. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, 10 plus points plus 255 hunters, pretty good. So
I see 225, but I still like it for Moody. You want to make a case for Pat Spencer tonight?
No, because they can't even get his name right. Like,
you see that hook shot?
You can't even get his name right.
See that hook shot there?
Yeah, no, I saw it. No, but I just think that I'm not betting on a guy, and they constantly like they're in there like over the audio system where he can hear, and they're saying Cam Spencer.
Yeah,
and that's his younger brother, and he is also in the NBA. I could understand if like he wasn't in the NBA and his brother was, and like he was always in the shadow of his younger brother. He's also in the NBA, and they don't know his name.
I've never heard anybody confuse Max Christie with what was it Cam Christie? That's his brother?
Yeah, no, never.
I've never heard that confusion before.
I mean, I haven't heard any confusion of anybody that's not twins. Like
a Ronnie Brewer or Corey Brewer. I never heard that confusion
like what?
either. Like you gotta figure it out, refs. You gotta figure it out, broadcasters. You gotta.
And apparently he's like the Heisman of lacrosse too. So I don't know. Like
I remember it was him and what was the name of the Patriots guy? It was Chris Hogan.
Oh, the receiver.
I'm saying those are like the only 2 lacrosse guys I know that actually like became.
Didn't Chris Hogan play in the CFL too?
Yes, but I know he also won a Super Bowl with New England. But those are like the only 2 lacrosse guys I remember from college that switched. Hogan went back though because apparently he was a monster in lacrosse. But that's what I remember.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
All right.
And did Jim Brown play lacrosse? I think he actually did play. I think Jim Brown said his best sport was lacrosse.
Wow.
So yeah, Jim Brown played like every sport.
Lacrosse is crazy.
Shout out to Jim Brown.
Rhythm is your home for AI bat picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs. RIP Jim Brown. And the MLB prop market with a Rhythm. Building your own model is simple and easy. Rhythm knows you'll love it. That's why they'll include a 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. They also have some amazing deals. 25% off a monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off an annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. That's Rhythm, RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 and SGPN50. Get your 7-day free trial over there at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. And you can get props over there as well. You can also head over there because they're available for customers in a ton of different locations, easy deposit, and get lightning fast payouts with cryptocurrency. So head over there to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN.
By the way, I looked it up. There was an interview from Jim Brown back in 1984, and he told the New York Times, quote, "Lacrosse is the best sport I ever played." So Jim Brown, as good as he was at football, apparently was even better at lacrosse.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
What
Well, I
does that
mean,
mean?
when you think about it, a guy like
sense.
that would dominate every
Probably,
sport he
yeah.
ever played.
It would make sense.
He was a generational athlete, so that makes sense.
All right, Scott, let's close it out. Lock, dog, underdog.
Feels so weird having one game and it's a game 2. It's really weird.
And I've already stolen the under and Draymond under for myself. So I'm already down 2 plays.
Okay.
But I'm not going to lie, Scott. If I like the under, I like Golden State. But it's a lot of people that also like Golden State. And that's what makes me nervous. So for my lock, I'm going to have to go to a player prop, Scott.
Okay.
And I think I'll stick with a guy that's done well for me. Maybe he does it again. I will admit I'm slightly nervous because I got this at 9.5 the last game and it's at 12.5 now. But I'll take Naz Reid over on points. Who's going to stop him? No, seriously, like, who's going to guard him?
He was one of the only guys. I know he got injured. He actually showed up from the outside shooting shots game 1.
Yeah, like,
everyone else could have a shot. He was actually okay.
Yeah, like I'm sticking with Naz Reid here. Naz Reid has the matchup. He's going to dominate on the inside. He can also step outside if he needs to, and he's the only person that looked like he had some hope in the first game. So Naz Reid to go over 12.5 points. That's my lock for my dog. Yikes. I mean, I guess Moody is a pretty good hedge. Because if Moody gets 10 points, Warriors probably lost.
Yeah, probably.
Sure. I'll tell Hunter with my dog. Sure. Give me Moses Moody, 10 plus points, plus 225.
Okay. So for my lock, I also like the under, but do I think there's a world where Minnesota offensively actually has a solid game? I think there is a world that happens. So I think I'll actually go with the bolder play. Give me Golden State team total under 95.5.
Jesus Christ.
It's a really disgusting number, but I think it's actually warranted. It's at minus 116. The Warriors somehow scored 36 points in the third quarter. They scored 19 in the fourth, and Minnesota was trying to get back into it. But Golden State had 44 points in the first half. They scored less than 27 in 3 quarters, less than 20 in 2 quarters. And you're hoping Minnesota will be able to actually showcase some pride and some intensity in this game, and not letting Buddy Hield go crazy, I think it's a good place to start. But we read all the supporting cast for Golden State. They don't have many guys that we really are worried about. You could argue Golden State, if they fall behind early, might just rip the cord. We've seen them do this multiple times in the postseason. They fall behind early. They bring in the bench squad with, like, I'd say halfway to go in the third quarter and just move on to the next game. And that's a possibility too. So I'll go with the team total under for Golden State. I'll put faith in Minnesota's defense. Maybe not the 3-point shooting on their behalf, but I do think they can do enough defensively to limit Golden State to about 90 in this game. So I think the low total's actually warranted here for a team total. Give me the Warriors team total under 95.5 as my lock at minus 116. For my dog, this is where it kind of gets a bit tricky because I was wondering if I wanted to go for a player prop, but I think I don't have a choice because there's only one game and I'm picking Minnesota to win. So I didn't want to go Minnesota 1-10. That has not really been good to me lately. So that's kind of why it's a little bit annoying. But what do I want to go with here? Do I actually think Gary Payton II has a good offensive game? I could take Draymond again. Like, I could take Draymond fades again, even though he killed me in the first game. But you know what? I think I actually am going to go for it. Give me Gary Payton II under 10.5 PR at plus 138. The rebounds might be there. I don't think he's going to score much. He had a couple of corner threes in game one. But even in a solid offensive game, he had 8 points. He's not there to score. He's there for defensive intensity. He's trying to get some steals, get some hustle play, stuff like that. But I think that taking a non-shooter to go under 10.5 PR has some value at plus 138. I know that we tend to make a rule when we do the show together, it has to be plus 140 or higher.
Yeah,
Will you give me plus 138?
I guess.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's going to be my dog. I'll just fade Gary Payton II. I think that the rebounds could be there, but if they pull the plug, then he might be one of the first guys to get pulled. Because they might just need whatever scoring they can possibly get. And that's not what Payton II does. They might pull him for another shooter. If they swap him out for Moody, I wouldn't be shocked. Because they need all the shooters they can get on the floor. So I'll take Gary Payton II for a bad game script. Give me the under on his points and rebounds at 10.5 at plus 138.
All right.
Underdog? Question mark.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Draymond fade.
Yeah, we can. Still that in there.
I didn't take it as my lock, so he was going to score 3 points.
Let's see. Look at them listing Kuminga.
By the way, shout out to Tatum yesterday for missing every shot, but getting me over the 9.5 rebounds. Shout out to Tatum.
In the first half, too.
Yeah.
I guess we could throw my lock in there. Naz Reid as well.
Yeah, let's do it. You want the points? You want the threes?
I just put the points.
Fine with me.
What's the last leg?
Do they have Moody?
They do.
Let's go for it. Why not?
6.5 points.
Sure. Let's go for it.
Got a little spicy on it, too.
If it loses, we'll blame Hunter, so we're off the hook. It's fine.
It's also true. It's also true.
There you go.
Draymond Green, lower, 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Naz Reid, higher, 12.5 points. Moses Moody, higher, 6.5 points. That's 1.04x spicy. So add that in Underdog, shake it up, and you get $100, gets you $624 over there at Underdog Fantasy, 6.24x. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
Not really. Once again, bit of a weird schedule tonight. Hopefully the one game's close. If not, that would kind of suck. Apologies early on, by the way, if my mic was acting up. With the new streaming platform, there's like no way to actually check to see if my mic's providing issues or not. It just has the I'd say volume bar, but it doesn't have like it doesn't have an audio quality type of check. So apologies there, but hopefully I got it fixed pretty soon. So
yeah,
either way,
it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad, but
okay.
I did hear the difference. All right. That's it. He's at Reichel Radio. I'm at really raw __. Make sure you give us a follow at SGPN NBA on X as well. And with that, that is it. We have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of an in podcast. Just going to do like this. We are out of here.